Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that's really tired. I'm your host, Big Mike. Joining me is the fucking most obnoxious himbo in the world, Moth.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
That's his Spamton voice. He's not very good at it.
Jeez.
Also here is good old-fashioned Tiduidu. I don't know why you're old-fashioned. I guess you're Tradcath now.
Why?
No,
Why?
He's trad Polish, yeah.
I know I'm getting married, but Jesus Christ, I'm not a Tradka. Give me a fucking break.
No, you missed this, Mike. I was talking to Tiddy about our different fetishes before you came in, and he explicitly said, he's like, I wish my wife was a little bit more naive when I cream pied her. It'd be even better.
You know what?
And if you want to support whatever the fuck was just said, you can go on over to We Hate Anime Podcast, patreon.com/We Hate Anime. Donate for as little as $1 a month to help us out. If you do, you can join the much vaulted ranks of our patrons. Patreon supporters such as Katarasic, who I still hasn't given me any feedback as to whether or not I'm saying their name right or not, but I'm gonna keep saying it like that. Kev Online, also known as It's Malitless, fan of the show.
I love Kev.
And, of course, my very lovely girlfriend, Nicole Carter.
Wait. Let's. Kevin is the purest human being I have ever met. I've honestly never met someone who's as sincerely good-hearted as him. And I don't say that in he's a naive sucker, let's steal his money kind of way. I'm like, nah. Kev is a pure soul. And I actually really appreciate his presence.
Yeah, Kev is really great. But also, you just interrupted me fucking shouting out our big patron, you jackass. Gachi, the simp of Volume 1 Chan, which he has chosen to make his Patreon name, so that we have to say that every time. Still don't know what it means.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out what Volume 1 Chan is. Is it Volume 1 of JoJo? Because that's the worst decision he could make.
And, and if you're considering helping out, I just want to let you know, you don't have to give big amounts like Gachi is. But if you just give us $5 a month, you could be like Kev. He's given us $5 a month for the past 4 months. That's $20. That's helping us out quite a bit. And so I just want to thank everyone who's helped us out so far. And if you want to join them, feel free, because we'd love to have you on.
That's a big pizza. 3 times a year. That's worth something.
Did you just say that's a big pizza?
Yeah.
Are you translating it to euros or are you translating it to dollars? Because I know for a fact I couldn't buy a big pizza in Germany for less than $27. And it was not made by Italians or Germans. It was made by Croatians.
In Poland, a big pizza is somewhere between 40 and 60 zloty, which is around $25. So yeah.
Wait. You guys aren't on the euros in Poland?
No, we don't.
I knew the Swiss and the British weren't. I didn't know you guys weren't.
No, we joined in late, and our government is like, no, our independence, no euro, no. Which is working out fine, honestly.
I mean, you don't want to be another country propping up Greece.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel bad because, the euro can only be good for the unity of Europe, but then, every German I've ever talked to is like, man, screw Greece. Those assholes are bringing us down.
You know what, Moth? According to our analytics, we had at least one listener in Greece, and now we don't.
Oh, well, they'll know that my side gig when I'm not being a Mormon is a Hellenist, so that should get them back.
Hey, look.
Wait. Your side gig is in, side religion?
Yeah.
Because you gotta hedge your bets, Pascal had some good ideas.
Nope. I worship Tyke on the low key.
So how have you guys been? What have y'all been up to?
Wait, do you not know who Tyke is?
Not off the top of my head.
Tyke was the goddess of fertility and luck.
Yeah.
In what religion?
Hellenism.
In Greek, yeah. It's Taiki.
Okay, Mike, spelling. You know her as Fortuna.
Also, yeah.
The sexiest persona.
That's not the sexiest persona.
It is. I agree with Moth here. It's the best one.
There are so many. There are lots of personas sexier than the lady with a wheel for a torso.
Okay, but which one of them can give you a wheel job, really? That's a real rim job right there, Mike.
You know who can give you a wheel job? That fucking one that's a robot who has wheels for feet.
The dick cart?
Aegis?
No, I mean, I if Igus wants to give me a wheel job, she can. I'm all about that.
Okay, actually, you're asking how we were. Do we want the story time of Moth getting lost in the woods?
Yeah, let's go ahead and nip it in the bud early. Let's go.
That's
Okay.
a good start.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm Moth, and I travel a lot for work because no matter where you go, you need medical imaging equipment to keep people alive. Who would have thought?
For anyone who doesn't know, this is Moth. I'm introducing him again for the third time in this podcast. Also, if you're tuning in on episode 50, whatever the fuck, and
57?
you don't know who fucking Moth is, get ready. We're just every 5 minutes. We gotta let you know this is Moth. Go on, sir.
Okay, so the big gig up here is the fact that my company specifically will travel out to the middle of nowhere to fix medical imaging equipment. And when I say nowhere, I mean nowhere. To give you an idea, this story takes place in a village with a population of roughly 500 people, and there's no damn energy drinks in the fucking grocery store, and I'm never going back there for that very reason. What kind of village doesn't even have Rockstar?
That's a big town in Poland. Come on.
Okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, okay, you know what a dwarf is, Titty? Do you know what a dwarf is?
Yeah.
It's where like eugenics goes to like live on slowly and kind of die. It's like ethnocentrism, the tiny hovel.
Oh, I thought you were just pronouncing dwarf in a weird way. Okay, no, never mind. I didn't know about that.
In Germany, there are these like little pocket villages where there's like maybe 250 people living in houses way too nice for their income.
As in Dusseldorf and stuff like that. Yeah, okay.
They're like dwarfs,
Yeah.
though. They're like, that's what they're called. They're not even quite towns. They're just like communions.
Yeah.
Anyway,
A step below Weburg.
so yeah, this is effectively one of those for our European listeners in Greece. It's a tiny little village. The only way to get there is you have to take not even a main airline in Alaska. You don't get to take Alaska Airlines. You have to take this like jumper plane out of Merrow Fields to get there. And then you get there and you know you're there because your cell phone stopped working 10 minutes ago. And you have to use GCI, which is Alaska Communications, or else you're screwed. So we bring a second cell phone with us just so that we have like some contact with the outside world. It's like one of those old like army GPS phones. And so we have to take this out there, and then we have to take another plane to get to this other village. And I'm not going to tell you where I am. I'm just going to tell you they don't have fucking energy drinks. So you get there, and you don't have any cell service, so you have to make all your plans before you go. So I'm like texting the owner, I'm texting like the head of radiology at the hospital. I'm like, hey, tell the town I'm taking this airline, and I'm going to be here at this time if they want to pick me up. Just so you know, these towns are so like, and I'm not trying to like insult anybody who lives there. I'm just telling you, like, these are so remote that they don't even have ambulances. What they do is they'll buy like a Ford F-250, and they'll buy one of those cabs that you can put on the bed of the truck. Like Mike, you know camper shells, right?
No.
Okay,
How do you not know what a camper shell is?
I have no idea either. Also, that's pretty standard for a village.
Yeah.
But the village that my dad comes from has one church for the nearest 20 villages. So
Okay, well, they don't even have ambulances. They take a Ford F-250 and they have like a special medical bus that they put in it. So that's like how remote they are. So I texted the
camper shell, like the things that go on top of trucks. Got you.
I'm going to lose my damn mind. How do you live in Wisconsin and not know what a camper shell is?
I mean, I've seen them, but I've never owned a truck.
Okay, fair enough. So you have to text them. I texted the radiologist. I'm like, hey, I'm on this flight. It's expected to come in here. And I was thinking, I should have cell service because GCI is kind of everywhere as long as there's a cell tower. And I land, and the town is nowhere in sight. I'm just on a runway surrounded by trees. And I look at the pilot. I'm like, are you sure this is the town? He's like, yeah. The town's 5 miles out. And so I'm sitting there, and I don't see like the Ford F-250 waiting for me because they have to come pick me up for the clinic. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I'm just going back to town, like to the city, if these people don't show up, because I hear banjos. And yeah, so eventually he's like, all right, man, well, whatever, you paid for your flight, so just consider it a round trip or something. And then he's like, but if you need to get to town, the mail carrier will take you. And I look, and there's just some dude in like a 400cc ATV loading Amazon boxes into the freaking, he's got a trailer hitch on his ATV, like a flat, like a 2-wheel trailer. And I'm like, oh, really? So I go to the guy and I'm like, hey, can I ride into town? I'm a medical repair engineer and I need to fix some stuff in the clinic. And I guess part of my plane ticket is I also get a ride into town via whatever method necessary because they're partnered with this guy on an ATV. And the guy looks at me and goes, yeah, that's not a problem, but you're going to have to get in the bed of the ATV. Only women can ride bitch, and otherwise it's gay.
So, God.
Okay, Mike, we're in the middle of a village. Like, you really are surprised that homophobia is a thing?
Not just that, a German village. That's where all the Nazis hit.
I'm not in a German village. I'm in Alaska right now.
Okay. Well, you said Dorf, so I thought you flew straight to Germany to repair some medical equipment as part of your contract.
No, my German is not that good. So I have to like ride into town, and I packed kind of warm, but like it's freaking 12 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour winds, and I'm wearing a hoodie, and I'm on the bed of this ATV on a dirt road. It's not even paved. I get to the clinic, and everybody looks at me. They're like, "Oh, you're coming in today." And I get Wi-Fi finally, and my phone just blows up with text from the radiology director. And she's like, so when are you coming? You know, I'm trying to text the girls to schedule a time for you to come there. Oh, by the way, just so you know, if you ever go to these villages, only the women have like jobs, like the grocery stores, the hospitals, whatever bank you might have. All that is run by the women because the husbands, if they are working, are like hunting game guides for tourists with way too much money on their hands. So, like, if you go out to these villages, like, only the women work. So I fix all my equipment, and, you know, I head back to the flight at 4 o'clock, and this is just the cherry on the cake, Mike. You ready?
Uh-huh.
So these planes, they're not very big. I think they're like little 210s, which they don't even have set seats because they're cargo planes. What you do is you bolt seats to the floor. And as I'm ready to get on the plane, this woman, and... you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be fat phobic. Whatever. She's shaped like a damn ice cream cone. She's got these tiny little legs, and then she just, as soon as her waistline hits, she just balloons outward. It's kind of like watching a bullet fly out of a gun, and you just watch like the compressed gas and air just like bubble out at the tip.
I mean, if you turn her on her head, she has the perfect bodybuilding body, so maybe you shouldn't discriminate.
If you turn her on her head, she's a top.
Yep.
But she steps off the plane and she like stumbles and falls as she's getting off the plane, but she catches herself and she like gets off. She's not 3 feet from the plane, standing right by the fuel line, and she lights a cigarette. And in the 5 minutes we're taxiing on the runway, I watched this woman go through 3 cigarettes. And she's 400 pounds. And I know she's 400 pounds because she tells me she's 400 pounds. And she's sitting there, she's going through her first cigarette, and she goes through her first and second cigarette so seamlessly, I thought she was still on her first one at first. She's sitting there and she goes, "You're all trying to kill me. I was walking off the plane. Can't you guys have real ramps?" And I'm like, "No, this is a 210. The damn stairs fold out the side of the plane." She's like, well, I didn't say that. But she's like, "You know, you're all trying to kill me. I'm 400 pounds. This damn village gave me COVID." And she's like, "And then the stairs tried to trip me on my way out. You all want me to die." And I'm sitting here in my seat, and I'm like, "Lady, you're 400 pounds, and you're chain smoking. Like, how is anybody but yourself trying to kill you?" But, yeah, then the plane took off, and I got back home.
That's good. At least it has a good ending.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back with us and not lost in Alaska.
I get lost in Alaska so much, it's not even funny. Mike is completely tuned out, though, of this entire conversation.
I just don't have much input.
You don't have like anything to say about like a 400-pound person chain smoking complaining about getting COVID?
I am over 400 pounds and have had COVID, so no.
Wait, no, you're not over 400 pounds, Mike. You told us you lost like 80.
I did.
Are you still over 400 pounds?
Yes.
Baby boy.
I'm 6 foot tall and I have massive thigh muscles.
Love it.
Still, losing 80 is nice.
By the way, Tiddywinks, for the translation, he's roughly 174 kilos.
Okay, yeah. That tracks.
Yep.
I am an overweight bitch. I have saggy man titties now.
I do want to say,
I
congratulations,
used to be
Mike.
plump, but then I lost weight.
Congratulations, though, Mike, really. Congratulations on your weight loss. I'm glad you've come this far already. I actually am genuine. I know I like crap on a lot of people because of like my anti-body positivity stances, but anytime somebody actually loses weight, congratulations. Like really, good for you.
It's difficult.
Yeah, it is. Especially like, and here's the thing, like I used to wonder because there's kind of some negative stereotypes about the villages up here in Alaska, like everybody's fat. Well, I can tell you why everybody's fat, and it's absolutely not their faults. It is a packet of chicken breast, like 8 ounces of chicken breast. That's half a pint for you, Titty. Half of
The fuck's a pint?
okay. Imagine 500 grams of chicken breast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 500 grams of chicken breast is $9, but a frozen pizza is $3. So, like, I don't blame anybody who lives in a village and is fat. Like, you don't have a chance in hell.
I mean, that ratio is very similar here, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, you can still order stuff off Amazon, can't you? Like, if you want to get protein powder, you could go out and get some.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like, these people, like, Amazon Prime shipping doesn't work. They have to use Amazon Prime shipping to get it to Anchorage. And then they have to, and look, you're actually lucky, from my understanding, if you're a native, you get a little bit more lucky because if you order something through Amazon, you need to get it shipped to you, and it's like something like groceries, you get like a huge discount. You get it shipped to you for like $5 instead of the $87 a thing should cost to get to you.
Poland, officially better than a village in Alaska starting this year because we only got Amazon this year.
I'm gonna say you're better than like most of America because you at least get health care.
Do we though? Like currently, so many doctors have emigrated out of Poland and nobody goes to medical school because the pays are so bad, especially if you're a resident, that the government recently proposed that we should, you know what? We should do labor schools for medical personnel. That's not gonna backfire in any way at all.
That's how you get eugenics.
Yep.
I was going to say, the only way I can afford to get gout treatment for my gout, because even though I'm the most fit human being on the podcast, I still get gout for some reason.
Probably because you eat too much red meat.
Actually, no, I eat a ton of chicken. I feel bad that things have to die for me to eat them, especially cows, when cows are so damn sexy, that I actually just eat a lot of chicken and tuna. Or, you know, not tuna, whatever comes in the canned fish cans.
I'm trying to eat fucking tuna. I bought a bunch of fucking packages because it's like 70 fucking grams of not
Pure
grams,
protein?
kilograms of protein.
No, you're right. It's
and
70 grams.
Like 10 calories or whatever the fuck, and it's like yeah. And then I cracked one open and it tastes like fucking piss. And I was like, how do people eat this?
You want a secret, Mike? And like, here's the thing. The secret to eating tuna is to cover it in fry sauce.
See, I thought about it. I thought of like just mixing a little bit of mayo and making tuna fish, and I was like, I'm mixing it with mayo. Am I even eating anything healthy at that point?
No, you're fine. It's like a guilty thing. Like you have to mix your tuna with something. Like for a long time, when I was super psychotic about bodybuilding, I just mixed it with Cholula, and I would just like pour half a bottle of Cholula on my tuna.
Make a tuna salad or something, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I even bought like the flavored ones. It's like it's so not good. How do people eat this?
No, you have to drink it with like a liter of water, or else you're just chewing like the fish equivalent of sandpaper.
Yeah, why does it have that texture? Why is there nothing in it?
Because it's a pure. It's like if you actually ate whey without the artificial stevia they put in that stuff, like you'd be pretty much just drinking chalk.
I mean that's fair. That's actual protein. But like a fish shouldn't have the consistency of sand.
Okay, here's what you do.
Well,
Mike, if you want to keep it low calorie, a little bit of salt. If you're not allergic to pepper like I am, a little bit of pepper, otherwise red pepper, and then like 3 drops of lemon.
That's the thing. I got the flavored ones. So they have flavor.
Did you get like the pickled flavored ones?
I saw the pickle one and I was like, maybe.
Oh gosh.
No, the one I tried was like Asian flavored, and I was like, okay.
This tastes like my cat.
It tastes like fucking soy sauce, and like it tastes like fishy soy sauce. Like I have eaten women out that tasted like that. It was very unappealing.
But what I was going to tell you, to get gout medication without breaking my bank, because last time I got gout medication, it was $300 to check into the doctor, $350 for an x-ray room that I know wasn't calibrated right, because I heard that tube scream at the top of its lungs. and then like another $350 for blood work. I paid $1,000 to get an $8 gout prescription that didn't even work. So to do it this time, I basically have to get on board a doctor's trial, and I got a gout flare right now, so I'm the perfect candidate. I have to basically take experimental drugs to get treated for my gout at a reasonable cost. So yeah,
that might be better.
I'm not a socialist, but at this point, can we I work in the healthcare industry well enough to know that like the government does need to step in and subsidize some stuff, specifically penicillin.
Yeah, I mean lots of medications, like a lot of.
Well, no, but like penicillin's the one that gets me, because how often do you actually hear those like horrible stories where guys are like, yeah, I was rationing my penicillin and then I died.
Look,
insulin, not penicillin, insulin. Why am I saying penicillin?
Yeah, exactly. Penicillin is for headaches. I was wondering what the fuck.
No, penicillin is when you join the military, you get the peanut butter in the ass, because they basically dope you against anything you're going to get deployed to fight. And one of the last shots they give you is like 100 grams of penicillin just right in the ass.
Yeah, thanks, Ludwig Pasteur.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. Listen, I didn't know. When you said penicillin, I was like, yeah, sure. But like, what about it? I was gonna bring up insulin.
Yeah, I meant insulin. It's one of the in words. Look, I deal with imaging equipment. I don't deal with fucking pharmacy stuff. Big time. One of our big time fans, Astrag. Once again, thank you for listening to us every episode. He actually works at pharmacies, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but he's like, dude, insulin's depressing.
Yeah, I worked for insurance for 6 months back in 2019, I believe it was. That was around when we started the podcast. And it's like you have these people who will call in and be like, "Hey, why didn't I get my insulin? I'm about to die." And I was like, "Well, the insulin's $2,000, sir." And it's like, ha. Why is it that much? It costs like $5 to manufacture. It's actual bullshit.
So I'm gonna say, even with me being like horribly fat phobic and disgusted anytime I walk into a McDonald's at the state of humanity, like if I go into a Golden Corral, I just start retching. I will say that insulin is something everybody should be able to get access to. And here's a little fun fact. I learned about this the other day. I don't know if it works in places like Alaska, but I've heard it's pretty good in the lower 48. Go to Walmart and just say you need insulin. Like, go to the pharmacy, say, I need insulin. They have generics for like $25. And if you need needles, just look for a boarded up house and there will be plenty on the floor.
There it is. So, Ted, how you been?
I just want to add, I had a student who was diabetic, and every now and then he said, "Oh, excuse me," and stabbed himself in the gut.
I love that.
And that was the extent of
my dad does that as a party trick. It's so funny.
That was the extent of that. He never worried about the insulin prices. Thank you, social communist Poland, from 45 until 93.
Did you just say capitalism and then spit out of your mouth?
Yes.
All right.
The revolution, baby.
You want to know how
Viva.
You want to know how I know capitalism's broken? The Patreon not safe for work games, the ones that get the most funding suck most, and the ones who get the least amount of funding are the best ones. So capitalism's broken.
Yep.
True.
Like, I'm not gonna name names here. I don't want anybody to know I'm a filthy degenerate. Hey, Mike, Deltarune, Chapter 2.
Haven't played it yet. I'm actually going to play it after the podcast,
Okay,
probably.
I got it. So, if anybody...
You can talk about it. I've already been
Okay.
spoiled.
Well, for those of you...
What about Tid? Are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, for those of you... I'm not going to spoil anything here. Except this podcast officially supports Susie X Chris. If you're a Susie X Noel cuck, please leave.
Okay. No, it's Susie S. Noel. I feel like the only reason you ship Chris and Susie is because you play as Chris and you want Susie to kill
it's because as you actually play Chapter 2 specifically after you leave the Dark World, you actually start to see how, and you have to do the pacifist route, you can't do the weird route. You actually see like how well they get along as characters. They actually have chemistry, whereas Noel's just like, I know this girl likes chalk. I give her chalk, teehee, and they don't actually like. I guess they have that weird Ferris wheel conversation, but it's just the chemistry isn't there. It's like the Chris Susie chemistry is perfect.
Look, man, I played enough Harvest Moon to know that's perfect courtship. What the fuck are you talking about?
Give them chalk until they marry you.
Exactly.
Okay,
Look.
did you play the...
All I'm saying is, I self-insert and I want to kiss Ralsei. That's all I'm saying. Chris X Ralsei.
By the way, I'm not saying Toby Fox has a type, but Toby Fox is interested in the exact same women I'm interested in.
Okay, so it's really weird. Toby Fox and Andrew Hussey, because Andrew Hussey is Homestuck guy. Toby Fox worked on that. Andrew Hussey has a character archetype that he puts in everything that he makes, and it's sassy girl who will kill you, and it is his type to the point where he wrote himself into Homestuck to propose to that character so that she would kill him.
What are you saying? I have to read Homestuck now? Fuck you.
No, don't.
It's so good. It's so fucking. It's so, and that the ring he uses to propose to her is lore important to the story.
So I will say this: Toby Fox's type is mothers who get shit done. That's how I would describe it. And you will see it with Deltarune Chapter 2 with the Queen. Like, this man has a clear. It is tall mothers who get stuff done and have like a very secretive, violent side. And you know what?
Wait. Are you reading into Toriel some shit that isn't there?
You didn't see the end of Chapter 2, but she like starts threatening Chris. She's like, if he doesn't get out of the bathroom, I'm gonna murder him. And it's like, oh no.
I mean, I can imagine why Chris has some unresolved demon stuff. I don't mean like is a demon.
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
your
just,
dad
like,
is a cop, you probably have demons.
Well, no, if your dad's a cop, you watched your mom.
Are you kidding me? You watched your mom get beat through 2 black guys.
For a second, I thought you said through 2 black guys, and I was like, "This is a different conversation. This is really
but
weird.
like you'll see it a lot with the Queen. Like the Queen she is the perfect mom. I think my favorite thing is like she loves bananas and she loves cell phone games, and so I've just been seeing a ton of fan art of the Queen like laughing at Minion pictures.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know anything about this character, but that seems exactly like the type of thing she
No,
do.
but like I'm not kidding. Like Toby Fox loves mom bods that get stuff done because you'll see it with Taskmaster as well. That's a character that does it. Like I think he secretly hates lesbians because he makes lesbians like the most intolerable people on the planet in his games, but he loves moms.
hey, Undyne was cool. Leave Undyne alone.
Undyne is great, and
but that's the thing. He does one really well, and then he makes the other one completely garbage.
No,
Yeah, no, because Alphys sucks, and so does Noelle.
I love Alphys. I adore Alphys. She's my favorite character in
Alphys
Undertale.
would make a great pair of leather boots. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait, is Alphys seriously your favorite character in Undertale?
Yeah, I love her.
We've had a podcast for how many years now, and I didn't realize you had trash taste.
That podcast name is already taken, unfortunately.
You've been well aware of my taste as I've been aware of yours, and I think it's up to the listener to decide who has the good taste. They're not gonna pick me because everyone likes you.
That's the thing, though. Like, I don't actually think everybody likes me. I think I have like a closeted group of like 7 super fans who I genuinely appreciate, and then everyone else is like, "Why the hell is Moth on this episode?"
Every single time I hear anything, it's either "Wow, Moth was really stupid" or "I listen to this for Moth." It's those two things.
That's the only thing keeping me from getting kicked off this podcast until people realize Egg has talent.
Yeah. Once I unlock Egg, and Egg is basically the new version of Moth. As soon as we got him broken in,
dude,
you're out of here.
Egg went running. It was I have to say episode because here's a fun fact. We recorded the City Hunter episode twice because I was so frustrated with how, like, I care about our Patreons. If our Patreons ask for something from me, and I just care about our fans, period. If somebody asks for something from me, I'm going to make sure that it's really, really good. And I recorded that episode with Sudoku? Yeah, with Sudoku. And I just...
Yes, with Doku.
I hated it so much. Like, it had nothing to do with Sudoku. I was just like, this episode sucked. So I delayed it for a week and brought Egg in, and I just... Egg took to it like a duck to water. I was getting a little bit jealous at first because like, holy crap, Egg is going to replace me.
Hey,
That's the plan.
I know.
Fuckboy.
I had to get over my insecurities real fast.
Get good at sucking cock, or you're out of here.
look,
Okay, I was thinking about it the other day, man. Like, I could work
Wait, you were thinking about
I
sucking
could work
cock?
a dick like nobody's business if I wanted to. Because like, have you ever had a girl do that thing to you where she like cobra fangs her index and middle finger and like, because you got the main rod that goes under your shaft. That like it's like the main tube. It's the fucking jugular of your dick, urethra. And then like, have they ever just like drug fingernails up the either side of that tube?
Can't say I've had
Ask
that
Nicole
done.
to do it for you. You will like it's one of those things where it's like you won't survive 12 seconds playing this game. You won't survive 12 seconds with Cobra attack.
You heard that, Nicole. You have to attack my
With
cock.
Cobra fangs.
so
With Cobra fangs.
Cobra Kai. Okay, quick question for you. Mike, titties.
Wait, stop. Tid was you keep interrupting Tid as Tid is about to say something, and you just keep
Tid
going.
Tid go.
really, at this point, I forgot half the say I was supposed to say. I'm just wondering if fellatio can be like part of your neck muscle routine now that Moth is considering it, but that's it.
No, actually, the best way to increase jaw strength, you know the rawhide they sell for dogs? Just chew it.
Eat it.
Just chew it.
on it. I have incredible jaw strength because of that. Not because of rawhide, but I used to like just constantly chew on things because I have an oral fixation. So I would just constantly be chewing on shit. Like if I found a piece of rubber, I'd put it in my mouth and chew on it.
Also,
that's a weird thing to admit.
I mean,
I bite hard.
as someone who ate like 5 pencils in high school, I can understand that.
Yo, I used to snap them in half with just my mouth, and it would
we've
freak
reached the
people out.
chromatari high section of the podcast.
It's funny you should say that. That Cromartie High is going to come up later. Anyway, Tid, how you doing? What you been up to?
Past 2 weeks, I was visiting either side of my family because of birthdays. First, my fiance's sister had a birthday, so I went to one end of Poland. Then my dad had his birthday, so I went to the other end of Poland. So I was either spending time with family or talking to British people, and I don't know which is worse.
Talking to British people.
Aside from that,
Wait, is your wife British?
No. I work for a British company now.
Thank
on a
Christ!
phone.
I was like, I was like, that's too close to a British person. I was gonna have to kick you off the podcast.
No. She's Silesian. She's more German than British. Anyway, we started planning our wedding, and now I'm fucking freaking out because like my parents were, we did a short list of the closest relatives you have on our side that you should at least try to invite. Here's 130 people. I'm like, oh, right.
Ain't that always how it fucking happens? Your family just wants to fucking help. I just want to help. Does it all for you and gives you a list of things you don't want.
Yeah, exactly. And like I get that because like on my dad's side I have 8 aunts and uncles. That's not even counting their spouses and children. But fucking hell. On the other side, like my fiance is going to invite like 10 people, so it's a bit imbalanced.
Yeah. Do you have a date yet?
July 30th of July.
Okay, I'm gonna warn you right now.
Nice.
I'm gonna do you a massive favor. Do not. I don't know what Polish holidays are. I imagine because your country's been around a lot, you have a lot of holidays based on like famous battles involving alcohol and shit. Do not schedule your wedding anytime during like solstices, Christmas events. I know you're in July, but like Australians celebrate Christmas in summer, so whatever.
No, wait, no. They don't celebrate Christmas in summer. It's summer when they celebrate Christmas. That's a different thing. Shut the fuck up.
Do not have your wedding like within 2 weeks of any major holiday.
It's not within any major holiday. The closest is like God's body, and everybody forgets about that. So.
How the hell are you in a Catholic nation that forgets about God's body?
Well, it just happens. It's like you go your merry way. It's it's a moving holiday, same as Easter. And one day, all the shops are closed. Right.
Teddy, he just made a bad
No, I didn't
joke.
make a bad joke. I'm genuinely offended right now that the most Catholic nation on earth forgets about God's body.
I mean, to be honest, we're so Catholic that our priests are COVID fearmongers, and one of our politicians from the far right side told the other politician that he will hang. So yeah, Moth has a point.
No, Tid. He's not talking about God's body. He said God's body.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm explaining.
I was not making a joke there, Mike. I was being honest. Like, I find it horribly offensive.
Mike.
Listen,
Mike.
I wasn't gonna let anything not funny not be pointed out.
I'm throwing sandbags here. Come on, I'm building a fort.
Okay.
Listen, I'm seeing your sandbags, and I'm just like, I'm gonna let everyone know they're here because like this is unfunny. This is bad podcast.
So, Mike, I got a question for you. This question goes for you too, Titties.
Yeah.
Would you let your significant other sound you?
Yeah.
Like
sound me?
Like not a big needle, Mike. Like, the smallest, like baby's first, like what's that company called that makes the kids toys?
Wait, what the fuck is sounded? Like, just slap my balls and see what sound it makes?
No,
What's that?
That would be the preferred option. No. What is that company that makes like the plastic hammers and stuff for kids so they can pretend to be like their dad?
Sounding.
Fisher Price.
Sounding is
so like if your girl took a Fisher
sounding
Price
is-
needle to you, like baby's first sounding, would you be okay with that?
I'm trying to explain what it is to Tid. Sounding is when you put something inside your urethra to make it bigger.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay, here's the deal. Would I normally do it? No. If Nicole was into it, yeah, as long as she does it too.
All right, let's see who could hit the base of our shaft first.
Yeah. We'll make a game out of it.
Oh gosh.
And then after we've got it all the way down, we'll sword fight.
Why the fuck is it called sounding?
Speaking of which,
what does this have to do with sound?
Did you guys ever have that?
It's called sounding because when you do it, you scream.
All right, TD, I got a question for you then. When you were in Poland, do they have that game where it's a little base station, like maybe 13 centimeters in diameter, and it has 4 handles on it, and the handles are solid metal. And the way the game played is everybody holds on to one of the metal handles, and the system in the middle beeps, and when the light goes green, everybody has to press the button, and the last one to press the button gets shocked.
That sounds like it has way too many electronics for a Polish toy. No, we would do that on a merry-go-round in a playground, and instead of an electric shock, it's a S-beating rather.
Wait.
Yeah, Moth, you gotta realize they've been playing with stick and wheel up until last year.
Okay, so I don't know what those freaking toys are called, but they're at like every playground. They're banned in America because kids keep dying. It's the one where you have the massive wheel, and it's got like bars that you hold on to, and one of the kids spins the wheel, and all the other kids hold on. Yeah, I think the last time I nearly got a concussion when I was in Germany because they had those, and like y'all just take pleasure in murder. Because I think my legs were hanging off, and the guy who was spinning had to like step off every time my legs came around. He's like, "It's not over until you fall." I'm like, "I'm gonna die."
I mean, have you ever heard of Europe's history? Are you really that worried that we revel in murder? That's how we get around. That's our culture.
The only thing I ever learned about European history in American school was that something really bad happened in the 40s.
Yeah, that's true. The Hindenburg.
Man, though, I remember we had to. I think in 11th grade we had to read Night. That book has nothing to do with the hours between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
What is wrong with you today? That was really bad. That was impressively awful. You know what? I was gonna be like, hey everybody, I played a Voice of Cards, the new Yoko Taro game. I played the demo. It's pretty good. I was gonna talk about that for a little bit, but now I want this podcast to end as quickly as
possible. Is Voice of Cards made by the same people that did Lobotomy Core?
No,
it's
Library of Ruinais. It's cool. I was laughing generally at that because Yoko Taro makes a card game now. I guess every masterpiece has its cheap copy now, but yeah, I hope it's good. Haven't played it. It's
actually okay. It is not a card game. It is a game made of cards.
Okay.
Oh,
like it is very much like a traditional fantasy RPG, but like the framing device is like you're playing like a tabletop RPG, and there's a dungeon master who reads all the dialogue for you, and everything's just through the aesthetic of cards. It's really good.
That's
Wait,
fucking poggers.
What's that frick? Oh, Hand of Fate. So it's Hand of Fate.
No.
It is, yeah.
Oh, no. What? No. Wait. Is it Hand of Fate that one game? Like the PS, like the 360 fucking RPG with the guns and shit. And the tower?
That's Gungeon.
No, that's not Gungeon. Shut the
Hand
fuck
of
up.
Fate is so the premise of the game is you're riding in a cart with a random stranger who looks like the merchant from Resident Evil 4, and he's like, "Do you want to play a game where we determine if you die or not?" And so you're basically playing a turn-based RPG with a bunch of random events. And so you're like, "Oh, do you want to visit the trolls up north?" And like you move your pawn up north, and you get like a bunch of story events. And occasionally your story events end in like an action combat system very similar to Fable. And then the object of the game is to get like to basically clear his not his deck, but like you have to clear the entire board, and then you challenge him to be the next Hand of Fate master.
Actually, what I would say this game is it's like a classic Final Fantasy. There's a world map made of cards that you can explore.
It's like a tabletop RPG if I had a budget for my games instead of just like a few wet erase markers.
That is exactly it. Like I booted it up and it felt like I was playing an actual D&D campaign more so than playing Baldur's Gate, because Baldur's Gate is a video game with D&D in the background. This feels like a D&D session, and you have a DM who's an incredible DM, like flavor text, and like he doesn't do voices, but he does do inflections. Like, and like the quality of the voice acting is like really fucking good. It's like kind of crazy. It's really, and the music. It's a Yoko Taro game, and Okabe is doing the fucking music. So yeah, the music's nuts, and the art is. It's like Yoko Taro made a game, and it's another good one.
As much as I love Okabe's music and Monaka's music in general, I really hope like that. God, what was his name? Saho or Sato, the guy that did the Drakengard 1 soundtrack, comes back for one of these games, because that man was perfect for the job.
I'm actually trying to think of like
that was a good.
I'm trying to think of the best video game soundtracks I've ever heard that isn't like Persona or Deltarune Part 2. So like, give me a sec. Oh man, Persona 4 had the best soundtrack of all the Personas.
It did not. It's like number. It's like number
Tiddy,
3.
What games have you been playing?
Most recently, oh my god. I'm trying to beat Lobotomy Corporation to make a video on it, and it's going
so
You know what
hard.
keeps
It's
killing me
really
at
hard.
Lobotomy Corporation? I try to keep him from spawning, but no matter what, the Scarecrow always spawns.
The Scarecrow is a motherfucker,
The Scarecrow is by like... And what's the one where if you look at the screen, it kills your scientist?
That's Schadenfreude.
I had Scarecrow and Schadenfreude right next to each other because I didn't know what they did, and I haven't picked up the game ever since I put them next to each other.
I've never come across this Scarecrow.
The
so
Scarecrow. Okay,
does.
here's what happens. He regenerates health upon killing any of your researchers, but that includes the random staff just walking around. So this dude is impossible to kill.
Yeah, he breaches if you fell with him once, and here's the fun part. The best way to do work with him is intelligence work. The more intelligence you have, the better you do.
No, but only to a certain point.
But he breaches if your guy has intelligence 3 or more. So you have to send him your idiots.
Yeah, so...
And risk that it's going to be a bad work.
So you basically have to run a bunch of intelligence 2 researchers. The problem is they can level up while they're working with him.
Yep.
So you're like, oh boy!
Wait, I thought the level ups only counted after the actual day was over.
Yeah, they do, but suddenly you have only level 3s in the department.
Mike, if you're on autopilot with a researcher, you don't notice their intelligence level 3 until the Scarecrow's sucking their damn brains out.
Yeah, no, I adore Lobotomy Corporation. Love that game. It's really fun. But then you play it for 30 hours, and then you get to like fucking level 35, and you're like, I can't there's no way for me to keep going. I can't. It's impossible. And you start over.
No, I think the point where I had to start over is I had the Phoenix, Schadenfreude, and the Scarecrow all at the same time, and I was like, this is dumb. I hate everybody.
I have there's like in my current configuration, I have Schadenfreude and the one you have to look at. I forget the fucking name.
The 5 smiling faces is also not that bad. The one where you have to get the researcher in while that face is happy.
Yeah. Today's expression. Yeah. He's a really fun boss in Library of Ruina.
Yeah.
He's a great boss in Library of Ruina. Like to the point where, like, in my first game of Labo Corporation, I got him and I was like, oh yeah, dude, I love this fight from Ruina. And I like looked at it and was like, okay, I know he has a thing. And then I just kept getting guys killed, and it's not as fun, but still cool, I guess.
Okay. I will say Lobotomy Core is my favorite non-SCP title.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I love that it has like 100 original ideas, and it really banks on them, but holy shit, dude.
Dude, the dark humor in that game is great, too. Like, it's got that very, GLaDOS feel where it's like, people die all the time. Don't worry about it. Just look at my tits.
It's not really dark humor. Like, it's pretty just dark.
No, it's dark humor in the same way that, like, Psychonauts 1 was dark humor. It's like, hey, we're lobotomizing people because it's funny.
Haha.
No. It's I mean, I don't know, like, you did not play a lot of that game. It's not very tongue-in-cheek. It's very much in-cheek. Like, in a day early on, you get to it, and then the facade falls away.
You see that everyone's dying.
Suddenly...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just dark. If you think that's funny, you're kind of fucked up.
Well, aside from that, I've also started Prey, the 2017 one by Arcane, and oh boy, that's System Shock 3 that I always wanted.
You mean Gmod Hide and Seek mode, the game?
Yeah. It's a pretty great game.
That game's really great, except for all the things I don't like about it.
Which is?
There's not a lot of enemy variety. Which would be fine if everything was also a mimic, because the mimics are fun to fight. Until you get super overpowered, in which case the mimics stop being fun to fight, because like you know that's a mimic. You already been here and you're like level 1,000 and you have the ability to auto scan everything. And also, like, the layout is pretty big, but also, like, once you know where everything's at, it doesn't feel as big as it starts out feeling.
I mean, I think that's typical for games in confined space, like BioShock or System Shock or this one.
I would say, with October coming up, though, if we're talking about, like, scary games we're all enjoying, Lost in Vivo is my recommendation every year for a scary game.
What?
I don't know.
Lost in Vivo, I talked about it back when I was doing Moth's Misunderstandings, and I had a lot more time than I do now. Lost in Vivo it's a very PS1 throwback first-person shooter made by the same people that did Spooky's House of Jump Scares. It's effectively the best comparison is like a first-person Silent Hill. I'm not going to go over all the details of it, but you're a woman taking in vivo therapy, and you're trying to basically get over a bunch of your mental illnesses, and it's not explicitly said to you that you're getting over a lot of like trauma and whatnot. You're just like, why the hell is a creepy baby crying all the time? Why the hell do I keep seeing like things about being beautiful all the time? Like, you're just like, it's got this really unsettling feel about being lost in the underground when it's the underground of your mind. It's got great atmosphere, it's got great sound, it's got really decent combat for a horror game, which is saying a lot. When the bar of good horror game combat is Dead Space, like it's I would say it's I don't know, it's not quite Dead Space, but it's good.
That's nice.
It's the horror. I would say the combat is on par with Doom 3. There we go.
Does it also have a butt shotgun?
No. Yes, it has a shotgun, but it shoots salt, so it's not as good as you think.
Yeah.
No. Is it a bad shotgun? Because Doom 3 has a really bad shotgun.
Well, what happens is each of the weapons has like a weird glitch to them. So like your main handgun can randomly jam on you in the middle of a fight, and it takes a second to like basically unjam it. And then your shotgun, your character will randomly drop ammo, if I recall, like while you're reloading it. Because you're playing a woman. You're like playing a 25-year-old woman. Like, you're not going to be a super soldier with a shotgun. She drops ammo while she's reloading.
You heard it here first, folks. You can be a super soldier if you're a woman.
Also, if you're a woman, you inherently don't know how to shoot a shotgun.
Unless you're in the Halloween movies. Okay.
But yeah, that's Moth's recommendation. In utero therapy.
Sleep in
Get it
Vivo.
now.
If you oh gosh, I need to look it up, but there's actually a horror game on Steam that you can play right now and it's finished. I can't play it. It actually scares me so bad I can't play it. And it's maybe you guys have heard about this one. I think it's called Visage. And, in fact, I'm almost positive it's called Visage. I'm not going to look it up on my keyboard right now because tippity tap is too loud for the Lardo to edit. Visage is a game where you live in a house, and it's basically, if you enjoyed Silent Hill PT, like that demo that never got turned into a real game, play Visage. You will love it. And you will poop your pants and be scared. That's my recommendation for the most terrifying horror game I've ever played.
Okay.
You heard it here, folks. Poop your pants. In Visage.
Mike, you couldn't play Visage. I guarantee you wouldn't be able to play Visage. I think Visage would even scare Critical.
Well,
I'm not easily scared by video games, so I'd be fine.
I don't know, man. Crazy, half-naked old woman in a muumuu stabbing you in the stomach randomly is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I played Resident Evil 7.
that's pretty hot.
Oh,
And on that note, we should probably talk about what we're supposed to talk about today.
I was so bored by what we have to talk about today. I've been avoiding it.
We are not a video game podcast?
We will be. You and I are going to do a video game podcast together, and the first game we're playing is Kingdom Come Deliverance. The only game about Poland.
It's about Czech Republic. Bohemia, motherfucker.
So, for today's episode of the We Hate Anime podcast, we decided to get together and watch the newly released Star Wars called it Disney. Star Wars Visions, a 9-part anime mini series thing that Disney paid its soul-sucking gremlins to manufacture through multiple anime studios. This is pretty cool. I like it. What do y'all think of Visions as a whole?
I have two things that I felt the entire time I was watching this. The two things I felt, the first one is the Japanese don't understand the soul of Star Wars at all. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing. No, I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that a lot of this didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt like a space. What do we call Dune, Titty? It's a space opera.
Space opera, yeah.
It felt like space operas with lightsabers. That's the first thing I felt.
No.
The second thing is a lot of the stuff they did were things that I saw in the new trilogy, like episode 7, 8, and 9. But I forgave it in Visions a lot more than I would forgive it in 7, 8, 9 because Visions isn't a canonical freaking continuation of the plot. And so it was enjoyable to watch it in Visions, whereas it wasn't enjoyable to watch it in episode 7, 8, 9.
Where are these takeaways coming from? Where are these? I don't. This is so incredibly Star Wars.
No, it's not.
With the exception of the second episode, which we'll get to.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
This is all Star Wars.
Episode 6 wasn't Star Wars at all. Toby, that wasn't Star Wars at all. That was Astro Boy with a lightsaber.
That's true.
But no. So when I say they don't understand the soul of Star Wars, I don't expect every human being on the planet to read the AU and the extended lore like I do and all that good stuff. But there's stuff like, they watched episode 7 and they see the idea of catching a blaster bolt with your bare hand using the Force as like, oh, that's really cool. Let's incorporate that in our story. There's power scaling in Star Wars that you don't get. The ability to catch a blaster round that powerful with your bare hand was a sign of how incredibly powerful a character was. Like, it's like, hey, this is big dick bad guy for the series. Look at what he's able to do when he's introduced. It's the same thing with like being able to shoot lightning. Like, I was fine with it in episode, I want to say 7, where the character shot lightning because like he was an elder Sith. He's been doing that for years. But like giving characters arbitrary powers because they look good in the series doesn't translate well when it doesn't do well. It's like, these are powers.
Moth. That's the core of the original trilogy. It's like the original trilogy is just ripping off Kurosawa movies in a sci-fi setting.
That's fair. I will say.
So what Moth is talking about is the third episode in Twins, when one of the characters fucking does that. He didn't catch fucking blaster. It was a stun round. B, he's literally immaculate conception of evil. He's like they're one of two super powerful force users. Of course they can do bullshit.
I was actually okay with that in the Twins because they established how powerful of a character he was. I was talking about episode 4 where a random freaking Jedi catches a blaster round not even aimed at her.
Yeah, because she's cool.
No, that's
she's powerful.
She's cool.
Like,
you are literally just mad that it was
I'm not mad that it was a woman. There was no understanding of her power level, and she just catches a blaster.
Yeah, because it's a 12 minutes episode, and I think like every studio tried to show that they have cool, powerful characters in each of them, which might have led to a bit of an inflation of the power scaling. However, who the fuck cares?
Like Moth. We're talking about like, okay, let's just start going in order. Basically, in the first episode, a character extends their lightsaber into an umbrella.
That was dope as hell.
And you're like, oh, that's fine, but don't you dare use the Force.
No, it's these were things that I thought were frustrating, and if I had seen them occur in episodes 7, 8, and 9, I would be a lot more offended than when I saw them now. Seeing them now, I'm just like, okay, these people don't understand where the power scaling is supposed to be, but it still makes for enjoyable content, so I'll forgive it. It's not like it's like being mad at the animatrix being weird.
This is just brainword. This is just your brainworms. It's like you saw a character use the Force, and you're like, well, they shouldn't be able to do that. You don't know anything about these. These are 15-minute specials, with the exception of one that's 20 minutes. You don't know anything about them.
That's why I'm willing to forgive all of like the entire, the weirdness, the weird power scaling. I'm willing to forgive it because it's not canon. It has nothing to do with the main 9 movies. It's fine. Like it's totally good. I'm just saying, like, those were things that were setting me off while I was watching. I was like, okay, they don't actually understand the source material that well. Whatever. I'm still gonna enjoy it.
Fucking Ted, I love that fucking Moth is like, time to do an episode of the Nerd Crew, and he's over here actually nerd crewing.
Yes, I am, and we are absolutely not gonna get sponsored by Disney after this episode.
The last episode starts with 20 minutes of talking about cock. I think we've lost it a long time ago.
No, it's fine. As long as we don't air that episode of the podcast in China, Disney will pick it up.
Tid, what did you think about Visions overall?
Overall, I think that I liked some of the ideas. I liked most of the execution, honestly. I got honestly tired of Sengoku Japan aesthetics by the end. I think that they went too hard into that, and it made some of the episodes just blend together aesthetically. But overall, it was cool.
I had a bad feeling about all of it.
I feel like...
Yeah.
I feel like whenever they were like putting this together, they didn't like give anyone like any kind of like directions.
Yeah, definitely.
I would definitely say like the fact that everything is Space Japan. It's like, yeah, I get it, Japanese.
I can tell you how this fucking happened. It was Disney contacted all these studios and said, "Hey, make Star Wars but Japanese." And they said, "Okay," and they all came across similar ideas because of what they know the culture is in the West, right? And that's what we got.
I will definitely say that Disney packed the lunchbox like with the Twinkie on the top. Because you open this and the first 3 episodes are so good, and then like after you eat the Twinkie, you look down and realize that your mom just gave you like 7 rice cakes for the rest of it.
They're jelly donuts.
That is the most wrong you've ever been. The first episode is episode 1, The Duel, done by Studio Kamikaze Doga, who are famous for doing. I mean, they actually have plenty. They're mostly a support studio. They did Pop Team Epic, and they did the really fantastic openings for JoJo's Part 1 through 3, which you can really tell because this is a CG anime.
You know what they did for the openings for JoJo Part 1 through 3, Mike, right? They just got the
CG?
PS3 game, they ripped the files off the fighting game, and they just used Miku Miku Dance with a fucking filter on it.
And they did a good job.
Yes, they
But they
did.
also made Batman Ninja, which was also a very enjoyable OVA. That was also
Yeah.
CG and Western media through an Eastern lens.
I was going to say Batman Ninja, because I really like Batman Ninja.
It's great.
But I don't think anyone else cares about
I didn't
Batman
even know it
Ninja,
was
so
out
I was like,
yet.
I won't mention it.
It was like
Batman,
3 years
it's
ago.
been out. Yeah, like it's old.
I will say, episode 1 really did set the stage for what the other 8 episodes are going to be, and it allowed me to fully grasp right away, like, okay, this isn't realistic, Princess Leia fighting a fucking Hutt Jedi here. This isn't Luke Skywalker getting seduced by a spaceship being run by the sentient mind of a Jedi. This is just, let's have fun with lightsabers. And it set that up, and I really appreciated it.
That's true. Yeah.
I would say a lot of this is that, but there's some substance in a few of these.
Yeah,
specials.
specifically 6? 7?
Two.
7. I would say 7 has the most substance to it.
Also, on the topic of the duel itself, it's a very standard story of wandering samurai. Suddenly there's bullshit in town and he steps into fight. But the fact that he has a red lightsaber, I like that.
Yeah, the twist.
I like that.
It was a really good
I think
reveal.
the best part, and this was actually where I started getting hope for the other 8 episodes, is he took the Kyber crystal and it set him out. He's a Sith Lord who only cared about being the best, and
Well, no, the implication I think is that he's a Sith hunter.
no, he's a Sith.
I think he's a Sith, and he's either hunting others because he wants to be the best, or he's just trying to redeem himself by hunting others. It's not clear, right?
No, but Sith
Yeah.
are driven by their passions more than Jedi, which is the whole big thing. And so I definitely got the feeling that it's just him proving himself against a brick wall.
I mean that works.
I mean, it's up to interpretation. I don't want to poo-poo you using your brain too much because I know you're not used to it.
I will say though, Umbrella lightsaber is one of the dopest things I've ever seen.
It was so okay.
It's dope.
That already spinning that kind of spinning lightsaber tech exists in the in canon Star Wars extended canon, but it sucks. It's a dual's lightsaber that you can spin to fly with. It's really lame. It's in
Yeah, but
Rebels.
it's dope. I'm willing to
It's really cool here. It's so good.
So you got to understand. There's 2 ways to do Star Wars media, and I definitely think Visions to do it well. Let me clarify, to do it well. And Visions falls into the second category. You have The Mandalorian, where you love Star Wars. You tell another Star Wars story in the same way that episodes 1 through 6 were told, and you just
Fuck the Jedi.
Yeah, it's just hey, let's tell stories in this giant universe, and that's the Mandalorian effect, and that's not what they did in Visions at all. Visions did the thing that Star Wars Rebels do, where it's like, hey, this seems cool, and as long as it's not super consequential, let's do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rebels doesn't do that. Rebels actually is 100%
Yes,
canon.
and they brought Thrawn in on Rebels, which makes me so happy. I love Thrawn.
And time travel. They use time travel to make sure that Ahsoka's still alive. Isn't that cool in Star Wars? Time travel?
Oh, good. I'm so glad
that's a good one.
Ahsoka's still alive so she can abuse her Mexican maid.
What?
But yeah, the duel, it's incredibly stylish. The action is nuts. It's super it feels like a Kurosawa film.
Yeah, I can give that.
That's true. Also, I really appreciate the lightsaber umbrella that it gave everyone who is a boring Star Wars fan an aneurysm, and they can't shut the fuck about it, and you can instantly tell who's in there for the wrong reasons.
Oh, I also just want to say it's the villains in Vision, they're not all winners, but the winners are classically good. I want to see them more winners.
I would say episode 7 still had the best villain, the Elder.
We'll get there.
Episode
You're
9
fucking-
that you didn't watch.
I didn't. Okay, just so we're
Yeah.
clear, I didn't watch episode 5 and I didn't watch episode 9, and I didn't watch them for the exact same reason both times. And it's because
He didn't watch
episode 4 was
didn't watch
so
episode
boring
9.
and awful that I turned it off. And episode 8 was the exact same way, where I was like, this is awful. Even though they designed a really good female villain character, I'm not going to watch a rabbit.
Okay. Moth, you're doing that thing again where like we're trying to go through this and you're like, I just want to talk about the thing I don't like that's like 20 minutes from now. That's all I want to talk about.
All right, fine. Tatooine Rhapsody, Mike.
Great episode.
Episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody sucks. It's bad.
Fuck you.
Really
You're a
awful.
dick, Mike.
I hate this fucking episode so much.
Fuck you.
It's okay. It's the only one in the series that feels the need to jack off Star Wars, but in the worst way possible.
I don't get where you're getting that from at all.
It has a hot punk rocker. How is it not perfect?
Dude, they made that
man is
robot
literally
as
me.
sexy as they could make her. Like, they crammed the sex appeal to that robot.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. That robot, hot as fuck. The drummer guy, also kind of hot.
Which one?
Not. Yeah, they're yeah, all of them. This episode's just so lame. When I was talking to Nicole about this episode, I was like, hey, let me just explain to you. I'm gonna spoil this episode for you because I want to explain to you how much I don't like this episode. Okay. The fucking the fucking one of the main characters is the son of Jabba the Hutt,
who's set up for execution for disobeying Daddy.
Yes, he's set up for execution for disobeying Daddy, and then the band's like, we're gonna do what we do best. It does the Star Wars wipe to the fucking the fucking Jabba the Hutt being like led up to the fucking gallows in chains, and then Boba Fett, who's in this for some reason, takes the chains off, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And then they turn around, and his band is there with just guns to their backs, and they're like, "Yeah, we made a deal with Jabba. He's not gonna kill just you, he's gonna kill all of us, but before we die, we get to play one more show!" It's like, I hate this! It's so stupid!
I loved it. Because you
Yeah.
gotta, like I said, with Star Wars, you gotta go in one of two directions. You either have to tell a very, very good story, or you have to, like, you either tell episodes 4 through 6, or you tell episodes 1 through 3. And Tatooine Rhapsody is Star Wars Episode 1 all over again.
I really appreciate just the fact that it's the only, I think, Visions episode that is not about lightsaber wank.
Exactly.
It's actually about something different.
Yeah, it's the only episode
and
without
that's
lightsabers,
also
even though the microphone is a lightsaber.
that also. I hate it. He gets his microphone destroyed, and he fucking jiggers his fucking microphone into a lightsaber microphone, and they even have like. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool detail, I guess. It's kind of cool. But then he goes to grab it, and one of the guards is like, "No, and he's like, "Cool it, man. It's a microphone." Fuck you! And then okay. And then at the end, after they fucking perform for everybody, the fucking guys come up in the ship and they point their guns, and Jabba steps forward, and the main character grabs the fucking mic, and he's like, "Hey, you could kill us,
Or you could make money.
But you know what you could do? You could sign us and be the ones to support the biggest band in the universe."
You know what episode? You know what
hate
episode 2 is, Mike? And I might have to expound on this. Episode 2 is the Hero 2 episode. It is. You watched a ton of My Hero Academia for some reason. You don't know why, and you hate yourself for it, but you did. And then you get to the end of I think like season 4, and they hit you with a random musical number. And you're like, oh, it's the Hero 2 episode. It's an episode that's lighthearted, fun, tells a very, textbook story, but you get a musical number at the end that feels good.
I can't believe Mike hates on an episode of Star Wars where hope and wins over violence. That's kind of the whole thing.
I can't believe Mike hates the elite beat agents of Star Wars.
This episode is so stupid. I don't like anything about it. The Studio Colorado. The only thing you'd ever done before is Burn the Witch, which I had not really watched.
Burn the Witch was a very, very good
like
C+ anime, if I'm being real.
This was so I wasn't bored. I was mad the whole time, and even more so mad because I started it up and I heard the main character fucking speak, and I was like, okay, I'm switching the rest of this into Japanese.
And that was a favor
I can't
because
handle
the song sucked in English.
I only watched all the episodes in Japanese, so I don't have that experience.
But yeah, that's my opinion on episode 2. I think it's poo-poo. It's easily my least favorite of all of these.
I would say it was actually probably one of the ones that stuck out to me the most.
I think it's exactly middle of the road. Like from 1 to 9, that's at 5.
next up is the third episode, Twins, which was by Studio Trigger, and I don't need to tell you what Trigger did.
They just did it again. They literally just did it again.
It's a Trigger anime again.
I was gonna say though, throughout this anime, I like all the episodes I watched. I can't speak for episode 5 and episode 9, and with the exception of episode 6, there was just some power ass femdom energy from a lot of these.
I think it's because Star Wars is known for having really either shitty or non-existent female characters, so they're like females. Just a bunch
Are you
of
kidding me?
women. And it's,
Cara Dune is an
'cause
amazing character.
I don't know who Cara Dune is. There's Leia, and
Let's see here. Ahsoka's great. Cara Dune is great.
Cara Dune is the one played by a transphobe in Mandalorian.
Why do you have to call her the transphobe? Why can't you call her like the #1 woman's MMA champion?
Because she's a transphobe.
Because I know why she's gonna have to be dropped from season 3 of Mandalorian.
Dude, she is unbelievably like. If you take the transphobia aside, I feel like I sound like one of those girls in 1937 Germany who's like, Hitler's mustache is so hot, genocide aside. But like, Gina Carlino
really
or whatever her
up?
name is gorgeous.
Gina Fuckhead didn't even get like kicked off the Mandalorian for being transphobic. She got kicked off for being anti-Semitic.
Oh, that explains it much.
You know what? I'm not going to argue the politics on this one. No, I'm not going to argue this. We're just going to go on. Cara Dune is a great character, and Gina did a great job of playing her until she pissed off Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't know. You know what? I know that cunts can be cool, but I also haven't watched that show, so I have no opinion on her ability. Hey, if she's really cool, wish she'd stop being a cunt. That'd be nice.
Yeah, basically.
I guess that's a good way to put it.
So the twins, aside from femdom energy, which Moth brought up here, and I know exactly why.
Can we talk?
What did you think about it?
Can we talk about the suspension of belief that happened the entire second act?
Yeah.
Okay. Twins. I thought it had really weird. Despite being Trigger, it had really weird animation a lot of the times. Like the very first shot is a weird zoom on a 3D like location to a 2D character. But yeah, this is like okay. And, like I was like, okay, this is fine. And then they just hit each other outside, and they're just this blew my mind. Like. Because they knock each other outside and they have their big space battle outside. And it's like, this is really stupid. This is really dumb.
This is really cool.
Later at the end, one of the characters gets picked up by the robot manservant. And he has an air thing on? Why does the robot have an air tank? What's going on?
Look, if you're really cool, you don't need to breathe. That's like a rule established by vampires. And that's what we're keeping to.
This is I
liked episode 3.
Really
it was very well done artistically, and it falls into the category of Star Wars episode 2, where it's like, I'm not watching this to watch a good thing. I'm watching it to enjoy a bunch of like high adrenaline sequences.
Trigger did 2 episodes for this, or Mike for
and both of them were good. Both of them were phenomenal for different reasons.
But exactly, and this is the Trigger's aesthetics episode, and it's like nails that. But at the same time, at the end, I felt like, I saw all of this before.
You did. You saw it at the end of Comer.
Like even the way it starts is that you see it and there's a fucking star. What are they called? Star Destroyers, the ships.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 linked Star Destroyers. That was the best part.
Yeah. So the first thing you see is something you know, and then they're combined together with they're combined together with a Death Star.
And you know what? You can be like maybe as much as you want. I loved it.
I mean, it's also thematically important because twins, right? So that's the entire idea.
Hey, I'm not criticizing it. I'm pointing out how silly it is. So that's different. Something can be silly.
Yeah, and that's Trigger's specialty, actually.
Yeah.
I would say Trigger's specialty is animation, and this didn't have great animation.
No, their specialty is not animation, it's color palettes, which is a different thing.
No, they're known for their animation. It's literally
I
what
would
they're
give them
known
color
for.
palettes because they love blue-red. They adore blue-red.
I would make that a bit more general and say aesthetics, honestly, rather than animation specifically.
Like I didn't hate this. Like I thought it was really silly. It used kyber crystals in a way I had never seen kyber crystals
Well, because
used.
Sith
Like,
kyber crystals are artificial. You know that, right, Mike?
I'm the only like canon I'm familiar with is the KOTOR canon where they're made from bugs eating them and killing the bugs.
Well, so because you got to realize Star Wars rewrites so much, or Disney especially now has rewritten so much Star Wars canon, it's hard to keep up. But if I recall, the Sith have red kyber crystals because they're artificially produced. Because if I recall, the Jedi had the chokehold on the planet where you could actually get naturally occurring kyber crystals. And so
I mean, that makes sense in the whole Star Wars technology versus nature thing.
Yeah. So if I recall, the kyber crystals made by the Sith are artificial, and I think they're technically stronger, but they have more of a chance of just blowing up your damn lightsaber. Because they're unstable.
It would make sense why they're the fucking red lightsabers tend to be fucking weird
and jagged and stuff. Yeah.
And also, I just love that the not Luke scene of him just taking the piece of the kyber he got and just jamming it into his lightsaber. It's great. It's a great piece of animation.
Yeah, three was an enjoyable ride.
It was such an like look. I was like feeling pretty mid on it. The finale is so over the top and fun. When he does jam it in and he gets giant rainbow lightsaber.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really fun. That's how I'll put it. I liked it.
Was it this one where his lightsaber actually shifted from purple to blue?
No.
Where like that's the robot. The robot has the one where it's purple to blue, right? Where like the color shift happens. It's a gradient. It's a very light gradient. You wouldn't notice if you weren't looking.
Okay.
The only episode I know of that has a lightsaber's color shift is the one you said you didn't watch.
Yeah, the fifth one.
Okay, so let's talk about the one that made me turn off Star Wars for the night and just watch a regular show instead.
Episode 4, The Village Bride by Studio Kinema Citrus, who did Shield Hero and Made in the Abyss. This is a pretty good episode.
This episode was garbage.
As expected by the studio that made in Abyss, Kevin Penkins did the soundtrack for this one, and it's pretty great, and it has Amy Evans on vocals, so just based on that, I like this episode.
Actually, I want to say for Visions in general, the music is all really good.
Especially episode 2.
Except for episode 2. Fuck you.
I gotta say, episode 4 it was the most boring and disinteresting plot of them all. It took way too long for any action to happen. The action that did happen was 20 seconds, and it was boring. It was all boring. Episode 4 was the freaking Gilmore Girls of this whole thing.
I'm sorry it couldn't be like 15 minutes of action. There was setup and world building and character introductions.
I'm not
like, it was very well paced.
Any of those things.
Moth heard the line that a bride can have dirty feet and turned it off, and that was it. That's what happened.
Like the coolest thing about The Village Bride is that it introduces this like planet with people on it who have a culture where they understand the Force and use it differently than everyone else, and it's super cool.
No, it was boring as hell.
Like, it's really cool.
Boring as hell. I would give 4 worst episode that I watched after episode 8, but we'll get into that.
I would say we liked 4, just as Mike said, that the whole idea of, the Force exists, but not everybody knows it, but the centers or works it at the same time. That was cool, but it wasn't explored enough, I think.
Well, you can't. It's Visions.
It's something that well, that's the thing. There are 2 other episodes that for sure have cliffhangers. They're probably going to do another thing of this, and maybe they'll expound on that, because I think it'd be really cool.
It will be.
There's not much to say about The Village Bride. It looks pretty good. The backgrounds are like boring in it a little bit, especially towards the end during the fight. It's pretty standard. There's nothing stand out about its story.
I like the character designs, honestly, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, no. The female fucking Jedi's design with the mask is like, perfect. Yeah. Fucking awesome. Speaking of pretty awesome, Episode 5 is the next one, The Ninth Jedi by Studio Production IG, which, if you've heard of them, you might be familiar with Psycho Pass, Ghost in the Shell, and Cromartie High School. This is...
Also Abunai Girls.
Yeah, I was gonna put that there, but that was another thing where I was like, I'm the only one who knows this exists, and I don't need other people to know this exists.
Mike, you're not the only person that watched demo. Come on.
Mike, remember to gatekeep your hobbies.
I do not gatekeep. The Ninth Jedi is easily my second favorite episode, hands down. And it's basically like, it's really cool. It's almost structured like it's going to be a retelling of Seven Samurai, and then there's a really fucking solid twist at the end that's really cool.
I saw it coming the moment the Cybersmith said, "Oh yeah, this changes color based on your affinity." I was but it's really cool. Either way.
And yeah, it introduces like like this is like far in the future where like lightsaber technology is all but gone, and this one guy who's like a fucking eccentric space millionaire is like, I'm going to resurrect the Jedi Order, and he gets a guy who's really good at manufacturing kyber crystals, or not manufacturing but smithing with them to refine them, and he develops a lightsaber technology where the lightsaber actually changes depending on your alignment, and it's really fucking cool. There's a moment later during the big fight where one of the bad guys, he's being like, he's not actually a bad guy. He's having the dark side of the Force acted upon him. So as soon as they take out the rest of the guys, his lightsaber shifts color to purple, and it's like a really cool moment because in that moment everyone knows that to calm him down, and he will keep fighting them. It's really cool. This episode is really great. Production IG did it. Like, if you need, like, I don't need to tell you, Production IG is pretty good at making things. When they don't make new stuff most of the time, because Be the Beginning
Dinosaur
is not great. Dynazenon? That was
Trigger.
Trigger. Yes.
Why do I always get Production IG and Trigger mixed up?
I don't know. They are very different companies.
That's a good question, yeah. I also liked how with the main character of this, if you can call her that, like at the beginning, her lightsaber is not defined, it's very see-through because her conviction is not yet there yet, but just there's full green later. That was a great moment as well.
And that does break canon, by the way, because the lightsaber beams are entirely based on the crystals being refracted.
Okay, but who gives a shit?
No, I will get, once again, give it the pass.
But yes, it is based off the crystal reflecting the light, but it specifically has a guy who works with the crystal and has refined them in such a way to make this happen. Like, they establish why they can change color. Yeah, it's not just random.
Honestly, with this episode especially, this is like one of my pet peeves with Star Wars in general, and the canon that Moth keeps mentioning, and I don't hold it against Moth, of course, but there's so much cool visual shit that you should be able to do in this world of imagination and wonder, but so much was already established that you can't, and fucking sucks.
That's, once again, Star Wars Visions is equivalent to episodes 1, 2, 3. Do the cool things you want to do because you're not trying to hold canon.
But at the same time, like, I wish it could be. Basically, if the same like visual tricks and things could be used in something that is longer, has more plot, and a whole narrative arc. That's my pet peeve here.
Like, it was just really good. It had it had really cool moments on it. There's this great moment in this episode where she's running from Sith forces across a frozen lake, and she gets off of her bike and like slides to a stop, and then uses her fucking lightsaber to deflect shots and then cut him off of his bike and then keep going. And like, there's actual momentum to the sliding physics. It feels super good. Like, it's really good. But yeah, that was that episode. Sorry guys. Lardo, make sure to edit this out. I thought we had dropped call.
No, you're good.
No.
Episode 6 then.
Next
Astro
episode
Boy
is
in Star Wars.
T0B1
Toby.
by Studio Science Saru, who, if you're not familiar with them, they did Keep Your Hands Off Exoken, Ping Pong the Animation, and motherfucking Devilman.
Oh, and Sonny Boy.
No, that was not them.
They didn't. What?
No, that was fucking Madhouse.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Anyway,
God, it's like I literally, Moth's over here. I'll correct you. I literally did this. I made guys, everyone listening to this. I made a list in which I went through and found the notable anime to point out so that we could talk about them. And Moth's over here like fucking I will add to this knowing full well that I did not look into anything like a fucking asshole.
Okay, Mike, did you actually watch the Demon Bane episode or like listen to it?
Yeah.
So you know that when the time comes, I actually research stuff, right?
But that's because you're the only one of the core cast left. You have to carry us through.
Well, no, but like when I am
no. You Moth. Yeah, you do. And I did the research, and you're over here having done no research, giving you 2 cents. Shut your ass up.
So episode 6, Astro Boy and Dr. Elephant with no arms. Let's go.
Episode 6 was cool.
Didn't like it.
I liked episode 6. It
just
wasn't Star Wars at all, but it was a good episode.
Yeah, I feel like it might be just because we watched everything in one go, but like I understand the importance of Astro Boy to anime in general. I don't give a shit about Astro Boy.
You are a monster.
I like Astro Boy, and I was watching this, and I was like, oh, it's Astro Boy.
It was, and that's the whole thing. It's Astro Boy. Why a droid has force powers is beyond me, but it's Astro Boy.
See, that's the thing. That's a cool idea for Star Wars.
It's not.
That's a really cool idea for Star Wars.
At no point did he ever use a physical force power to win the fight, and I genuinely appreciated that as a character.
And that's the thing about this too. Like, it was just Astro Boy, and then it gets to the fight at the end, and it's good, it's fun, it's really good. And I was like, it almost made me forget. Like, and here's the deal. I'm not saying I think the episode's bad. I'm just saying it was just, if you don't know anything about Astro Boy, you'll watch it and be like, that was pretty cool. If you're aware of Astro Boy at all, you'll be like, oh, it's Astro Boy every minute until the fight scene happens. It's just constantly, oh, it's just Astro Boy. It's just Astro Boy. I want to get on with this. It's really, I don't even want to say upsetting. It's just really like distracting.
Yeah. I want to say, I enjoy it. Okay. It was fun. It was an enjoyable, it was very much the middle of the pack episode. It had things that made it stand out from the rest, but overall, it was middle of the pack. You're not going to have a lot of issues with it. You're not going to love a lot of it. You're just going to be like, this is Star Wars Astro Boy.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Astro Boy, and Astro Boy is voiced by Goku's voice.
That was driving me through the wall, by the way. I was like, okay, you know what? That's perfect. That's perfect. But why are you making Grandma Goku work when her throat don't do good anymore?
Next up, we have episode 5, The Elder by Studio Trigger.
Now, I will say.
Sorry, 7.
This is the one I'm most excited about. I would say that canonically, the one with the most feeling of Star Wars and did the most right is this one. I'm not going to say it's the most enjoyable of the series. I have to say the Twins was the one I enjoyed watching the most. But episode 7 was the most Star Wars feeling one to me, and I love it. Trigger took the cake twice.
I think this one is honestly my favorite out of the 9.
It's definitely up there. I actually completely agree. This one, it feels like Star Wars. It feels like old anime, and it's incredibly well animated.
You know what it feels the most like? And I can tell you right now, like no questions asked. The one, if you were to compare this to another Star Wars work, Star Wars Dark Forces 2 for the PC.
Did you just say? Wait, isn't that a fucking Doom clone?
Yes, it is, but it was a Doom clone with lightsaber play, and it was closer to a Quake clone.
Yeah, like Dark Forces 1 is straight up just a Doom clone. It's a good Doom clone, and Dark Forces 2 is when they went, you know what? Let's make this guy a Jedi, and it fucking slapped.
And it's Quake, and not Dark Forces 2, the expansion pack where you play as his apprentice. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Isn't that Jedi Academy?
No.
Okay, so episode 7, for those of you who are huge Star Wars aficionados, it feels like Dark Forces 2, the Sith expansion.
Okay.
You know, Moth, you have this way of just like saying a thing that no one can really talk about or has any frame of reference and just grinding the show down to a halt. It's really impressive.
I
know. I played Dark Forces 2 ages ago as a kid. I don't remember an expansion pack, so I can't really...
You don't remember the part where if you decide to be a bad guy, you get to the end and you get a hook-up with the hot-ass Sith Lord?
Dude, I was 9 and didn't speak
I had
English.
to kill innocent civilians to hook up with the hot Dommy Mommy. That haunts me every day of my life.
Why?
So The Elder is really great. It has one of my favorite Sith villains in Star Wars. Like, he's just an old guy who wants to fight. It's so good.
Well, yeah, the fact that it's just an old Sith that just came in there to just like make someone come after him to wreck their shit is great. I like it.
Can we also talk about the fact that this is the first time I think I've ever seen a duel where the dude goes for the vitals the entire time?
Oh yeah, no, like the fight is like it's so like good and visceral, and like they both like everyone who fights in this clearly has their own stance and style.
Because in Star Wars, a lot of the blade work comes down to what style you're choosing. There are styles, you know that, right, Mike?
Moth, I am talking about like shut the fuck up. You goddamn fucking nerd. I'm talking about the animation. I'm saying that the people clearly, and the fucking guy who's a samurai stand-in, he just fights with a samurai style fucking mob. He literally does a 0 send to win.
Which is actually you have to understand, I love episode 7 because it actually feels like the only fucking episode that understood Star Wars. This is the most Star Wars episode.
Star Wars on this Star Wars episode.
No. Here's the deal. Let's talk about Star Wars. Stop being all like, it's not like the canon. It doesn't feel good. People have stances in Star Wars. I know people have stances in Star Wars. I'm well aware. I'm even aware of the different stances, you tool, you piece of shit.
I'm so glad that inside Mike's mind, I'm Muscle Man.
I mean, what else would you mean, honestly?
The joke about Muscle Man is he's fat. He's not actually strong.
Oh.
When I am talking about the different stances, I am referring to the fact that the animators took the actual time to depict the stances the characters use instead of just fucking sword fighting. It's really cool when animators actually care about how the fights look. That's what I was fucking saying, you goddamn fucking nerd.
Also, real life sword combat also has stances, and that's why lightsabers also have stances in canon. That's not a very far stretch.
Yes, it's true. I was at no point being all like, oh man, did you know? I did not know when you hold lightsaber, you hold it in a particular way to wing wham woom the fight. You fucking idiot. I hate you. Episode 8, Lop and Ocho by Studio fucking Gino Studio, who fucking made Moth's favorite piece of shit, Golden Kamui. Let's go.
This is great, because I love Golden Kamui, and I hate this episode.
Golden
Kamui is my all-time favorite anime. This episode sucks.
You're a goddamn Philistine.
This is my favorite episode. It is the one with the best characterization. It has the best emotional core. It has the best designs. Like, fucking Lop is adorable. And
yes,
Ocho, like, how did you not look at Ocho and be like, I want her to step on me?
Well, no, Ocho has a great design, but this felt like Tail Concerto with lightsabers as opposed to actually Star Wars again.
Moth, stop making like obscure references to make people think you're smarter.
What the fuck is Tail Concerto?
Tail Concerto was a PS1 game where you were a dog and a robot and you used bubbles to catch cats.
This would be like if I just came into the podcast and was like, guys, I don't know how I feel about this one. It just felt like Art and Elico 3 Kuoga. but like a little less rapey, and it's like no one would know what I'm saying, you dense fuck.
I think our Tonalico is still much less obscure than whatever the fuck Moth is talking about, because I know
Man, this was just like the time where I was David Hasselhoff's car in Knight Rider.
If you said that, people would be like, I've heard of that. You can't just reference obscure Japanese PlayStation 1 games. I play those games, and you will not catch me referencing them, you dumb, dense fuck.
I
feel
was
left
going
out.
to say, though, Ocho's character development reminded me a lot of Silhouette Mirage. On the PS1.
I mean, okay, I don't know what the fuck that's just a joke.
Yeah, it was.
I would say I don't like how Ocho, like
Just 180s so fast?
Well, it's not that she does it so fast, because I get why she does it so fast. It's to save her planet. But she 180s so fucking hard to the point, like, before she 180s, there was no, like, hint that she didn't, like, have she didn't like fucking Lop.
It's particularly funny because, like, oh yeah, you're the slave of the Empire, will save you. And then later, like, Lob never even addresses it, and I feel like she should, like, hey, you're on the side of the people that, like, enslaved me, right, sis? You okay there?
Ooh, that's a good fucking point. I never even fucking thought of that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you sided with the reason I don't have a family, dick.
Yeah, that would be, you know what? That would be really good motivation. They could have done something like that. It would also give me, like, I could see her joining people who enslaved her sister if she fucking hated her sister. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I really, really like this fucking, it has great action. The fucking design of the lightsaber is so fucking cool.
Yeah, the lightsaber etching, like, makes zero sense, but I love it.
Yeah, okay. We already said I don't like this episode. I don't need to talk about it. You guys gush over it.
I really like how in the climax, she uses the Force to grab her father's sword. So she not only uses, like, her father's weapon, but also her weapon to deal the final blow. It's really cool.
As I said beforehand, I just find it really funny that the father has both his eyes cut out and he's literally dying on the floor, but he still has the chillest voice imaginable in the Japanese voiceover.
Well, my favorite part is he's laying there and he makes a freaking pun while bleeding out on the floor.
Yeah, I guess I won't see your smiles anymore. Oh well.
I loved it. I did love that. It was trying undeservedly to tug at my heartstrings.
What do you mean undeservedly? Like, it was the entire thing. It starts with an emotional core and it maintains the emotional core.
Moth here saying that family fighting over ideology is not Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. That's closer to Dune than Star Wars.
Oh God, I hate you. You're terrible. You're a bad human being.
I will say though, I totally screwed it up because I set the audio wrong for the first 3 minutes and didn't even get it at first. I set it to English with closed captionings. And I was like, man, are they really going to narrate everything that's happening right now? And I was like, what's going on? And we look, and I had the blind person setting on.
Oh yeah, that's the only subtitles they had. It's really cringe.
Yeah, it's also really weird that when you pick English subtitles, it's for the English audio, but in this episode particularly, Lob talks at different points in English and Japanese versions, so sometimes the subs show for nothing. And
dude, the subs are garbage on episode 8. You actually have to switch it to English.
Yeah,
it's really bad. It was only in certain points, but it was pretty distracting.
No, I'm just gonna say, episode 8 didn't do anything for me. I would say watch episode 7, watch episode 3, watch episode 1, watch episode 2.
And you would be wrong. Never listen to Moth. If Moth recommends you something, run away.
That's not true. I've recommended stuff that people have enjoyed.
Like?
Yes, but like that. Those are examples that like
name 5 as the meme goes.
Yeah, name 5.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, but there's 5 right there.
Akakiri by Studio Science Saru.
You know what? I actually probably wanted to watch this one because it had an interesting description, but episode 8 made me so mad I just turned it off and switched to regular show.
That's bad because that's only 12 minutes long and it's a pretty interesting one, honestly.
Yeah. This Akakiri, it's really cool. It has like really fun, like it's basically a journey. But the destination of the journey isn't where you intended. It's kind of like a metaphor for life or some gay shit like that.
I particularly like it because after 8 episodes of Visions, I was like, man, I don't know how they're gonna make this episode feel like the last episode and not like a wet fart, because so far a lot of motifs were recurring, the Sengoku Japanese aesthetics and so on is the same here, and then there's a fucking bad ending, so there you go. That's how you fucking finish it, with a twist. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I really like the fact that they had the balls to end it with, like, basically, it plays with, like, the fact that, like, there's that like, legend of people who are so powerful in the Sith Force that they can bring someone back to life. And there's a character that can just do that. And in exchange for bringing back a character who dies, a good Jedi gives away to the dark side just to bring back the person they love. It's got a bittersweet ending that is very good and I like.
Yeah.
And I think, oh no, Moth's still there.
No, I'm still here. I'm just once again, this is not one I have anything to talk about.
Yeah, he didn't watch it, so that's the issue here. I don't really think you would like it, honestly. Like, with all the episodes, I think this one that has the least like flashy anime bullshit that would distract you. It's very down to earth with all of that.
I know I have a facade on the podcast of not liking depth, but I don't turn on Star Wars to watch depth. Episode 1 isn't my favorite Star Wars because I like depth of character. It's my favorite Star Wars because it's George Lucas running a line of cocaine and going with it.
Why the fuck episode 1 would ever be your favorite episode? Let's begin with that.
That's actually, like, I don't even care that much about Star Wars. That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
The pod racing's fun, like, just, the prophecy of the chosen child's fun, the combat's fun, the dual lightsabers is fun. Like, episode 1 is fun.
The main villain of that episode has one line, and the rest of the movie is Jar Jar Binks stepping into shit 70 times on 70 different planets. Come on.
It's just fun. It's fun. And the tie-in video game on the PS1 was fun.
Okay, I'll give you that. It was great.
And the pod racing game on the N64, guess what? It was fun.
It's one of the
best
Taco
games. Bell promotional items that came with it were fun.
Moth over here being like, episode 1's my favorite because of media not having anything to do other than it being based on episode 1.
George Lucas wrote, he has control over it. This is his Star Wars. He made it. It's fine. Episode 1 is enjoyable overall.
No, it's bad. It's really bad.
It's like poetry. Bad. It sucks.
I still think my favorite part of episode 1 is when George Lucas made his best friend Steven Spielberg a cameo as a freaking slave trading flying wasp creature. What was his name? You know what? I keep thinking it's Greedo, but Greedo's the one Han Solo shoots.
All right, everybody.
Is it Babu?
This has been the Star Wars Visions episode of the We Hate Anime podcast. It has been painful. It has been a trial, a tribulation, a fucking journey, much like Star Wars. And in the end, I think we've all switched allegiances. I am on the dark side. I am going to kill you.
I've actually always sided with the Jedi on things, believe it or not.
From my point of view, the podcasters are evil.
All right, guys. You have a good night.
Yep. And in Kathleen Kennedy, if you're listening to this, you can go to hell.
Hey, she was a producer of Schindler's List. That's a good movie. I was actually surprised when I saw that thing when I watched that movie recently.
What is Schindler's List?
Oh my fucking god. Okay, we're done. We're out. Bye.
See you next time.